It's highly relevant for several reasons. One of them is that the economies, for maybe good reasons and maybe bad reasons, demand increased qualifications for jobs. Some people claim this is degree inflation. I tend not to believe that, because I think the skills that are involved in an ever more complex economy require some kind of post-secondary education for most people. And so I think obtaining a degree is important. I also think that the knowledge which is imparted and the aspect of being involved in an academic community is also quite central. I am a little bit skeptical of totally online degrees because you don't get the sense of community when you do that. But of course, that is an increasing part of the global landscape in higher education. And most countries use online, at least for part of the delivery of academic programs. Well, what's a hit in the United States is actually, generally speaking, not online universities, but what we call blended learning. That is the use of some online courses along with traditional classroom-based learning. And many American universities use that new approach, which is partly less expensive and partly makes good use of new technological developments in higher education. It's interesting that many of the pure online programs are in the new for-profit sector, which has come under tremendous criticism in the US because they've overcharged students, they've not given a good product, and so on. And actually the enrollments in for-profit online institutions are declining rapidly. I really don't know, because it is the wave of the future. It's not, some analysts have said, some years ago, the university of the 20th century will disappear in the 21st century as a result of technology. That is nonsense. That's not going to happen. Traditional universities are going to be here for the long run. But traditional universities, maybe except for the very elite ones at the top, are going to undergo significant stress and change, and will use technology as part of the methodology for delivering degrees. So I think that this part of the world needs to get with it, understand that things are changing, and use the best technology possible. Also, trying to adapt the technology to the particular needs of Southeast Asia, because just buying courses and programs off the shelf frequently is not relevant for particular countries and institutions. Well, it's not, if governments are too directive in defining what the skills gap is, I don't think that's a particularly good idea. And we learned from the Soviet Union that that's not effective anyway, that it's very hard to predict. You have a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan, and particularly in today's 21st century economy, things are changing so rapidly. So what I think universities need to do, and in many cases are doing, is providing basic skills, ways of thinking, orientation to knowledge, the ability to do critical thinking, these kinds of things, which will fit people for a range of job skills later on. Because the idea of having one job, the old Japanese system, you have one job and you stay in that for your whole career, is finished, in this kind of economy. In some ways it makes it more difficult for young people, but overall it's a good thing in terms of providing people with a range of skills and permitting them to sort of make choices along their careers. So I'm not in favor of dictated skills. I am in favor of education.